is a living miracle with so many connections and so many tasks being done all at once. Welcome to EazySense with scientist, author, and professor Dr. Patricia Broderick. Dr. Broderick is a medical professor in molecular, cellular, and biomedical science at the City University of New York School of Medicine and has invented, patented, and trademarked a revolutionary technology that will change the way we understand the brain. Some medical doctors have stated that the Broderick probe will change the face of science and medicine. So please welcome the host of EazySense, Dr. Patricia Broderick.
Welcome, everybody. You're tuned into EasySense Nanotechnologies Incorporated. And we're reaching you from New York City to the United States and to the entire world. I am so happy to be with you. And let's give a shout out to the Broderick Brain Foundation. That foundation has helped students travel and bring their work all over the world. And what we want to tell you about is that I did found the foundation and I did found EasySense. And why did I do it? You know, the title of this show is A Life of Sacrifice. Now, look, I had a lovely time, although I worked so hard. So I don't really want to say it's all sacrifice. It's actually entirely rewarding and worth every second. Now, you know EasySense Nanotechnologies, and you already know me. You know the EasySense YouTube, and you do know the Broderick Brain Foundation. But you know what? We're doing something very exciting. And so we're embarking on a whole bunch of new podcast shows. And the podcast shows are free lectures on my intellectual property. So, did you ever hear of free lectures on somebody's intellectual property? And are you saying, does she know what she's doing? She wants to share her intellectual property? Um, that's not good. I want to tell you it's very good because it's patented, it's trademarked, and a lot of investors and philanthropists are interested. A lot of private enterprises are interested. And how on earth do we get all of this information out to all of these people in a 50-minute meeting or even in an hour and a half meeting? It's impossible, absolutely impossible. So we thought of this way of doing this. It's extremely valuable, I must say. On every level, it is very valuable. And there's one thing that I do want to share with you. In that beautiful introduction, we say go to EasySense to give support. Well, you know, if you go to P.O. Box 596, at the United States Post Office at 3630 East Tremont Avenue, Bronx, New York 10465. That will bring you to the nonprofit arm of the EasySense Nanotechnologies Incorporated, and that is it's a 501c3 organization. Very well respected, and then you will get credit for what you are giving. And then that will help EasySense in that way. And EasySense has its own educational value as well, just as hospitals have their educational value as well. So that's actually an EasySense show And it is lectures, but not really lectures. It's relaxing information on the Broderick probe, which consists of millions of formulas. It's not one probe. So that's the first thing that we should say. It's not one probe, and it is a sensor. It's a sensing device. Okay. So it senses, it images, it sees inside. It sees inside the brain. It sees inside the skin. It sees inside the spinal cord. Um, the patents are matched with the key, with the trademarks, making the entire enterprise more valuable on every level. I want to emphasize that these cameos at the beginning of each week, I come to you live to let you know that these lectures were first deposited at BBM Productions, and we have advanced uh, to the Pod Unity Network, and this is a group of really fabulous podcasters, and I'm excited about it. And it is at Lanford uh, Industries, which is quite well known for the past 30 years. And we've been working on this for about the same amount of time, but maybe a little bit more. And that's why we say a life of sacrifice. When you do something like this, I mean, how much do you want it? How much do you need it? How much, how much will you give up to get it? Okay, you give up an awful lot to get it, uh, and it's worth it. We invite you to please uh, come and work with us, enjoy the lectures, uh, try to understand what the probe does, why it does it, what it's used for, and how long will it last? What is its sustainability? What is its sustainability? So I think I have covered everything for the first cameo, and I'll see you again next week. And let's get started with the first lecture. So, what we're talking about is this probe. And I remember Jake Maslow, who was the director of the Technology Commercialization Center at the City University of New York TCO, Tech Commercialization Office, a while back. Doug Adams is there now, and Doug Adams is working with me with the new investor, of course. The patent attorney is totally excited as well. We are excited. What else can I tell you? The amygdala of the brain is flipping over with joy. Things are coming together after so many, many years of work. So when I entitled this work, I am going to look at this camera as Tom Shizano wants me to do, but I will, you have to practice your eyes moving up without your head moving up. This is quite a task. I'm saying happy St. Patrick's Day because Friday is St. Patrick's Day, which is a grand day. You know that I am Irish American, first generation Irish American. My mother and father both born in Ireland. They came here to America separately, and they came to Ellis Island, both of them. One of these weeks we'll put up a couple of pictures. I come from a family of laborers, not a family of doctors. I am the first one to actually go to college in my family. And we are a family of laborers. Interestingly enough, my father was a blacksmith in Ireland. And you know that a blacksmith works with the heavy metals, iron and steel, bending them, etc. It is an art. It is exciting. He walked from County Clare to County Galway to do his blacksmith work, when he was very, very, very young. Well, like me, I mean, I started to work after school when I was 13 years old. I worked in Woolworths, and I've been working ever since. I went all through school while I was working. I never had any time off, ever. And I did all my studies. Uh, and I might say graduated magna cum laude as well, uh, working after school all the time. Uh, and it was delightful and having a wonderful life. One of the questions that Doug Llewellyn is going to be asking me on April the 3rd at 3 p.m. Uh, and I'm becoming a real diva now because I went and I changed that time from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Then I changed it back to 3 o'clock. And I'm only getting the press release out now. So I'm getting used to this new feeling of autonomy that I have in my life. I mean, I actually have the day that I can choose getting the press release back. I don't have to have a nervous breakdown wanting to get it back immediately without going through it with a fine tooth comb. So that autonomy is a very nice feeling. Took me a long time to get it. Uh, so Jake Maslow was the director at one time. When he walked into my lab, he said, "This is the Holy Grail. This probe is the Holy Grail of all of science and medicine." Uh, and when I was writing up the show last night for John Michael, take a look at the night before the show, that's what we do. I wrote down, it's the Holy Grail of live imaging, laser nanosensors. So we started off with, now, one of the questions that Doug Llewellyn's going to ask me is, how did you start off in science? I was born a scientist. My father was a blacksmith in Ireland, and I decided to look up what a blacksmith was. I kind of knew, but you really have to go and search and search and search and figure out and figure out. And I read he worked with heavy metals, and there's such a thing as a whitesmith, and the whitesmith works with very petite, fragile, delicate stuff like gold and silver and diamonds. And guess what? That's what I'm working with. My nanotechnology is about gold and silver and diamonds. And I don't have my glasses on, but I can see my students asking, and I have a pop-up over here that I will have to get rid of. I see them asking questions. I'll put my glasses on in a minute. I want to keep, yeah, a whitesmith works with the delicate gold and silver. So I always said I'm my father's daughter. I always said that in the terms of the technology and my brain. I can see so many similar things going on. And so I'm happy to be his counterpart. He's Patrick, I'm Patricia, and he's the blacksmith, and I'm the whitesmith with the delicate stuff. I'll show a picture. We have very few pictures of him because of the accident he suffered on Christmas Eve from the oxyacetylene torch welding job he was in on that day. So this is the holy grail of live imaging. This is what all the investors, the philanthropists, and everybody needs to know about all over the world. And Bold Brave TV gives me the opportunity to speak every week about this. So, no headphones this week, and we can go any way we want. Another exciting thing that we're doing. On the bottom left, you're going to see the greatly oversized probe. Now, you can see that it's just drawn so that you can see the carbon at the tip. So, in going forth to study these smart materials, by the way, I am working with the right and the left hemisphere at the same time. Okay, there's a conference, the World Congress in Smart Materials, that's going on in Barcelona, Spain. I cannot travel there because I am very busy. The books have to go out, the teaching has to be done, the new products have to be done. We have to go to the next non-provisional in 2 different aspects. I cannot go, and they do not have a Zoom meeting, but what the conference administrator has said to me last night from Spain through the email, she said, we want your talk, so we want you to record your talk and we're going to play your video. And nobody else is getting that. So this is not a conference where some people will go in by Zoom and other people will go in by person. That's called a hybrid conference. This is a total in-person conference. And I'm being asked to go in with a video as a special invitation to me to show this brand new work. How thrilling this is. And we were going back and forth. Let's see, I guess it was 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning, 5:30, that I was going back and forth with China, Switzerland. Oh yes, China, Switzerland, and Spain, back and forth, thrillingly. So another question that Doug Llewellyn is going to ask, what are the highlights you've had because you've become a doctor, and the work that you're doing? Oh my goodness, there are so many. However, will I write them down? I will one of these days write a lot down about so many things that I think that people will enjoy. So, you know this well. You know it well. It is really, 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 really going, it's going to market. I am quite sure. We're going to the second step of the investor, I am sure, soon. What we have in this sensor is what we call smart materials, and that's why the World Congress in smart materials wants me. This is what's going on in Barcelona, Spain in July. It's thrilling. And so she wants me, the people want me, being directed by the administrator. I won't say all these names on TV right now. Maybe I will another day, but not right now because we want to say what these smart materials are. So as a whitesmith, I really never heard that before. And then when I saw that as a whitesmith, I'm working with gold and silver, and stainless steel and metals, and I should be putting all of this in the deck slides for the investors and in my publications much more than I do.
So I'm at the point of my life where I'm enjoying who I am. And it's not that I didn't enjoy all my life, I did. But now I'm at a I'm at a different stage. And even my class is, they're at exams now. So I really appreciate the people who are here tonight. They're in the middle of all of their exams. The smart materials we're working with, and there's so much more to come. And it's not only a diagnostic, it is also a therapeutic. So I'm going to get back to that later because I'm going to stick to smart materials right now, because the materials are, in fact, the materials that a whitesmith works with. And that's the gold and the silver, the diamond, and these are, well, carbon. Uh, That's not a metal, of course, but these are the smart materials. The fullerene, the fullerene is in the shape of a circle, and it's called a buckyball. And we did get the patent on that. We have the patent on the fullerene probe to actually act as a direct semiconductor. Now, that's quite an accomplishment. That came in April of 2021. My patent attorney and I had a great conversation this past Monday. These patents are quite good. And notice I have on my special green jacket for the wearing of the green for St. Patrick's Day. And that has a very special meaning for me. I am more excited tonight than even other nights. My students know that this goes to YouTube right away. And I guess what they're doing is they're going to watch it on YouTube, because I will give another lecture on Parkinson's disease on Friday, and the lecture is not going to cover this TV show, but my students are responsible for the TV show and for this. So that's what's so exciting. The materials are carbon, and when I write this, what is called a deck actually, for the investor, I am dividing the, I have to do this so simply. I want the whole world to have a knowledge of what's going on here, why we want to be in side by side with all the molecular imaging technologies. I want to tell you that the next book going out with Springer Nature actually puts us there as well. And the response I am getting from the world on that negates all of the hatred that came from only a few people. And of course, the hatred is going to come when you have something good. Of course. Of course. So when you look at this greatly oversized probe, it tells you what each part is and that there is stainless steel being used. And then when you look at this, you know that it's in here, and you know that I'm not going to take it out right now. I do have it right behind me. I can at any minute if anybody wants me to take it out. Remember the telephone number. Remember, we're reaching every single continent. Uh, the number is 866-415-1451. So what do these materials do? What materials are in it? There's lipids in it, for example. There are lipids in it. And there's phosphatidyl choline in it. And actually, we have a claim to that in a patent as well. So this is fabulous. But what these chemicals do, they're called the smart materials. And what these chemicals do is they bond to the neuron in the brain. What the chemicals do in the probe is bond to the chemicals in the neuron in the probe. Okay, so John Michael, can we put up the Parkinson's graph? Thank you so much. And then can we put up also exactly how, I remember for the radio show, my mentor from Albert Einstein asked on that radio show, exactly what do you do to the probe to get a signal, which was a great question. And John Michael has it up there. Good, great. It's so beautiful, everything. Wonderful. So on your upper left there, you can see to the right, there's a small black object. That small black object is called a potentiostat. I want people to know this because that's what takes the place of the huge tunnels that the other molecular technologies use, like PET, CAT, MRI. They use big tunnels. I use this small potentiostat. It's the black at the left-hand side on your upper left. The potentiostat, the new one, and that's why we need the investors. We have to put money into this. So we need your support. And you know what I wanted to remember to say? The manufacturer will be paid with shares. Probably. We have 200 shares. Right now, I hold all 200. I'm ready to share the shares with stakeholders. I'm ready. We can do that with the manufacturers. I've looked up this as well, and I found out there are over 500 manufacturers in this country alone. So, and they do make prototypes. I made the prototype for the first probe, this one right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a photodiode on it. So the tunnel is replaced by this. There we go. It's replaced by this, something this size, and it'll have to be my circuit. My circuit is published in many patents, and it's in the chapter 4 of the book going out from Singapore. This is a really exciting time. So what we're doing is we have two probes going, two big categories of probes, and we're going to call the first one, that has already done a great job, the naked probe. No photodiode on it, no infrared on it. And then we are going to lasers. So why are we going to lasers? Because the market wants lasers. The market wants color. The market wants photons. The market wants quantum mechanics. The market wants artificial intelligence. The market wants machine learning. And with this probe, we have actually figured out I think I'm going to a commercial. We actually have figured out the algorithms for walking, and then with the next probe, we'll call that the laser probe. So we're going to a commercial, and we're coming back to see how The Parkinson's brain is not anything like a brain that does not have Parkinson's. You're watching the EasySense show. I'm the host, Dr. Broderick. Call me Patricia. Come right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the EasySense radio show with host Dr. Broderick. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
And we're live, and we're back, and you're watching the EasySense show broadcasted from my home on behalf of BoldBraveTV.com and on behalf of the Broderick Probe nanosensors. And when I was on the radio, my mentor from Einstein, he says to this day, that's Jack Jacoby, he says to this day, you don't have a mentor, you don't need a mentor. So did Dr. Dominic Purpura say such a thing, you don't need a mentor. We talk about Dominic Purpura, rest in peace. Just I think of, as of last year, another wonderful man. Jack I will be talking with. He'll be reviewing the book, the 17 chapters. He asked, how do you get a signal to go through? What do you do? I mean, tell the people what you do. He asked. He was on the radio. He'll come back on the TV when I ask him. Kishan and I have something going right now, and now we'll bring in Jim Harrington, and we'll bring in Wayne Ellenbogen, patent attorneys. We'll bring in Doug Adams. We're going to bring everybody in. But the question, Jack said, it wasn't a question. He said, tell the people exactly what you do. What do you do? I mean, when you start out with, what do you pick up? And that's what this book is about. I've digitized the whole technology in the book going out right this minute, you might say. Well, what do I do? Well, I take this tiny probe and I place it ever so carefully in the brain. And if you look at the center part of this the picture on the upper left, you cannot see the sensor, of course, because the sensor is so minute in comparison to anything else. So this in the center is actually a part of the brain that takes care of movement. It takes care of the walking. And this is how we get our signals. We get the signals from the parts of the brain that look at movement. All right, so the middle, it's very colorful. And you cannot see the sensor, okay? Because if you look very closely, I have an arrow pointing to that part of the brain that's called the striatum. I hope the rest of the class, I'm thinking about my class all the time, so they can easily go into the YouTube and get this, because I'm going to do a different aspect of Parkinson's in class. Not this aspect, but this I want the whole 180 million households to hear. We take this and we put it into the brain minimally, safely, under anesthesia, okay, no pain, okay, and then we do for the first 2 weeks, we let that just heal. There's nothing really to heal. This is so small, but it's just for the safety of the animal. You know that I have invented this technology to save animals. Do you realize that? Because studying how the technology was performed in the past did not appeal to me. And I said, and I made a promise, and I vowed that I would save animals. And I did. And so you only need a couple of animals for these studies. You don't need thousands and thousands. And they are treated with the utmost respect all of their lives. So the probe is put into the brain. So the chemicals inside the brain, which are all biocompatible. These, I can tell you, one of these chemicals is stearic acid. And if you look at your box that your pound cake comes in, and you look at the ingredients, you will see stearic acid as one, and you can call it stearate to stay away from that frightening word of acid. You can call it stearate. What is stearate and what is stearic acid? It's the same thing, but stearate is just the salt of the compound. Science is not that hard. When you have a teacher, now I'm going to say something really cute because a student said it to me. Uh, when you have a teacher like you, Dr. Broderick, it's not hard. Oh, so one of the students, when they were taking the exam, she could not get in, open the exam. And guess what she said? I told her, go to the left, go to the right, and you'll see the exam. She got the exam. She said, "You're a breath of fresh air." Okay, so what are the highlights of my life? That sentence, for example, "You're a breath of fresh air." What Bobby from Close Up TV said, "Your voice is power and your message saves lives." Your voice is power and your message saves lives. Who's Bobby? Bobby is the person who works at Close Up TV and sets up the shows for Doug Llewellyn, and indeed for Jim Masters as well. Now, after this probe is sitting so nicely in the brain, not harming it, not causing infection, not causing it scarring, the animals live forever. They live their whole lives. Right there. That's a highlight for my life. That's worth it. That's worth every second. That's worth the sacrifice. And I have to tell you, amidst the sacrifice was one great time. Amidst all the sacrifices was one great time. And I don't mind staying up till 5:30 in the morning at all, figuring out how this probe is different from others, so I can work with Eddie Dunn and Tom Shizano and John Michael McCaffrey. Am I saying it too often? Good, because that is long-term potentiation, and that is how we learn all the words to the songs, because these names then are ever in our minds. Now, and I'll do that with several others. Now, when you look at the upper left, you see a computer on the right. Now, this is, talk about Roald Dahl, the magic, the magical, the miracle. If you don't look around you and you don't listen and you don't see everything that's going on, You don't need to take a straight path from one thing to the other without looking, without feeling, without seeing what's there. You will miss the greatest secrets because they are in the most hidden places. You see, when I simply add a little bit of energy to this, okay, it's called a potential. You know, energy is called a potential, but we can call it energy. And we put that energy on the probe that's in the brain, that's part in the middle, okay? Now, immediately the signal is going over to the computer. Why? Because I programmed it. I programmed the circuit. Little old me, little old Irish American me, born in the Irish South Bronx, programmed the circuit and figured out how to do this. And the people in MIT and the people in Yale couldn't do it. That's a fact. I'm linked in with Franz Hefty. He's an awfully nice guy. I'm linked in with him. He has like one publication on this. They couldn't go any further. They couldn't do it. And I did it. And I've brought it to this point, and I'm going and going and going further. Nobody's going to stop me. Hate to say that because then somebody's going to come at me again, but I have this Irish spirit. And so now I want you to look down on the right-hand level of this screen, because we have seen and we see daily what is happening. I keep moving. Here's the wire, and I'm so comfortable talking with you that I keep moving the wires. I'm a very expressive person. So now you're going to see on the left-hand side the molecules that we see in the brain that has Parkinson's disease. And then on the right, you're going to see the molecules that are in the brain of the person, animal. People are animals, you know. We are in the same kingdom. There is only one kingdom. What is all the fights about? Now, on the right-hand side, and I should say what are all the fights about for better grammar. On the right-hand side, a normal brain. I don't like the word normal, but I'm going to use it. Allow me to use it. The brain that does not have Parkinson's, we have so much dopamine, we have so much serotonin. It's giving us so much brain reward. Oh, it's so great. The Parkinson's brain that's on the left-hand side, it has no dopamine. Sometimes, and how do I tell the signals? Well, let me finish the sentence about the Parkinson's. The Parkinson's brain has no dopamine. That means it can't move, the person can't move right. All the movement circuits are awry. They just can't, I'll use the word articulate well. And sometimes they don't have enough serotonin either. And what they do have are peptides. Okay, some of them are very dangerous and they make the Parkinson's worse. They're only dangerous when they're stressed. They're actually not dangerous when they start out. And actually, on the normal side, we can't see those peptides because they just sit there doing their job, keeping quiet while they're doing their job. And they don't show up when the brain doesn't have Parkinson's. Now, this has never been seen before. This study has never been done before. I'm editor on more than 20 journals. I serve freely as pro bono, no money, as neutral editor with good judgment on journals all over the world. And all over the world, we're still using the older methods of killing animals, studying them after death, and we're still using MRI, CAT scan, PET scan. We're still using all the old stuff. Why? Because my things are not out on the market. And that's the purpose of this show. And I'm asking everybody, all my 180 million viewers, to kindly bring this word around that there is a new technology trying to break through that is better than the others. The others cannot take a normal brain and a Parkinson's brain and compare it in such a way as this and get distinct chemicals and a whole profile of distinction. So the normal brain does have peptides. It certainly does, but they're just going to be quiet until Parkinson's arrives. When the Parkinson's arrives and the person cannot walk right, when the person has an unsteady gait, when the person has shaky hands, when the person has depression, when the person has cognitive defects, lowered cognition, then the profile is altogether different. And this profile is seen at a particular number. It's very specific. It's not guesswork. And it's so specific, much more specific than MRI, CAT, PET scan, X-ray, much more specific. Let me point that out as well. So these are new. Now, we're going to lasers. So we're going with the investor to lasers. So one of the questions asked was, when you go to the market, are you going to the market with this one? This is driving me crazy. Are you going to the market with this one first? Let me get it away from my face. It does great things for the lighting. When I put the probe in front of me, it does great things for the lighting. It makes my face look a little more tan. And it's not tan at all, so that's another miracle. So that's a question I was asked. Are you going to the market with this first and then the next? No, we're going to the market with both, what we call the naked probe and the laser probe. So why are we going to lasers? Why are we going to infrared? Why are we building a brand new potentiostat? I built the circuit in the first one. Why are we going to one that looks like this? So small. This is not the circuit, okay? I'm just giving you an example of the size. Why? Well, because we want to have infrared. We want to have a photonic probe. We want to have an optical probe. We have it patented. We can tell the manufacturer how to make it. The money from the investor will go to the manufacturer, will go to the engineer, will go to the electrician, will go to the person in charge of intellectual property, will go to the person in charge of IT and in the computer world and information technology will go to the students and the postdoctoral students, not to me. It will go to the school, not to me. Does everybody hear that? Not to me. And so we are going to lasers. So we can go to lasers through photodiodes. And we can go directly to lasers with a light emitted diode. We can go to lasers using ultraviolet, and we can go to lasers using infrared. What am I picking? What am I selecting? I want to see, yeah, Chadis is here. And Sophia's here. How do you feel, Sophia? I have a pop-up in the middle of my screen. Oh, oh my goodness. I hope I didn't go out. No, I didn't go out. I did not go out. I went to get rid of that pop-up, and now I'm going to go back to the screen because soon I will be. This hour goes so quickly. So now you see how this works. That's what Dr. Jacoby, said during the radio show. Tell the people, even though it's radio, tell everybody how you do it. So we take this and we simply put it in the brain. That's in the middle of the picture up there on the left-hand side. You cannot see this because it is too small. You cannot see it. It's in there. I apply some energy to it, okay, like turning on a car. It's like turning on a car. When you turn on a car, you're not turning on the battery, you're turning on the alternator, okay? And so when you turn this on, just like turning on a television too, all right, you turn it on. The probe gets excited, okay? And the molecules inside the probe connect and bond with the molecules inside the brain in a specific part of the brain. And then it ends up with a picture on the computer. Everything small, and everything you get in the mail right now on electronics is small. These new buds just came in to me today. I wanted to have a lot of different ways of getting in. This is an adapter, all small in tiny little boxes, tiny little bags. Like, hold on right away, don't go away. Like this, the adapter came in this. The probe is ready for the market. We've got to get to engineers first and manufacturers, and that's where the investor comes in. The investor provides money and then gets a reward. They get paid for their work. And they may or may not get shares because stakeholders, people who have shares, I'm the only stakeholder. And I wanted to point out tonight, I was thinking about it last night. I figured out something else last night during my REM sleep that was great. And that's for the non-provisional patent. That I cannot tell you now. I can tell you after that one goes in. But I figured that out. But look at how small this end part is. So we had plenty of ways to show. Let me show you. This is a long wire because I'm going to the wired, even for my technology too, to make sure that we have everything perfect. And then parts will be wired, parts will be wireless. I cannot believe that this show, I say this every week, let's think about, because it's important. Some things bear repeating, they just bear repeating. I'm thinking about, again, Roald Dahl. In memoriam, I keep pulling this out. I'm going to put it on the table. It's time for me to say goodnight. It's time for me to have you think about the magic, the magical, the miracle. It's time for me to ask you to please open up your minds and open up your wallets, okay? Philanthropists, open up your wallets. This is worth coming in on the ground floor with us. If you have a 1% interest in this, you will see that it will bear so much fruit. It's going to be incredible for you. So open up your minds and hearts, open up your wallets. I'm talking as well to philanthropists who really want to see something come to fruition. Like for the electric cars, people gave 6-digit numbers to make that electric car. It's not made yet, and billions of dollars have gone into it. No dollars have gone into this. As a matter of fact, people robbed the money. Okay, so we have made no dollars yet. We are going to say goodnight now in the spirit of Roald Dahl, the most surprising secret. Secrets are secrets. This is the most surprising secret that Broderick has figured out, the holy grail of live imaging for laser nanosensors. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, all over the world. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's a wrap.
You've been listening to Easy Sense with your host, Dr. Patricia Broderick. Tune in each week as Dr. Broderick talks about her new breakthrough in science and technology. Here on Dr. Broderick's Easy Sense.